growing all kinds of veggies, putting them on the chopping block, even turning the leftovers into compost. In this garden oasis, these guys are learning what growing food sustainably is all about. These high school and middle school students get to spend 3 weeks here, learning about food systems, soil health, and zero waste.
It helps us understand how we could help the world, make it a better place.
It's thanks to a program called Urban Sprouts, run by San Francisco's Garden for the Environment. So tell us about the garden.
Well, the garden's been here for 20 years.
Nicole Brisebois heads up the nonprofit's youth programs. At the end of the day, what are you hoping teens get out of this?
Well, we think teens get a good sense of just going green, that they're living healthier lifestyles, that they're more aware of where their waste goes. We really focus on the compost and recycle and trash. We also really hope that they have a better sense of what they're eating, where it comes from.
They learn how farms are run.
Over here, you're growing beans.
And how to save water, like with a gray water system.
When it rains, it hits off the top and goes down this way into these tubes, and it starts filling up these barrels. And after this one gets full, it goes on and on.
Rebecca Moore says saving water is a must.
Water is a limited resource, so once it's gone forever, so we need to use it wisely.
Another big part of gardening is learning how to compost, which just happens to be August Spore's favorite thing to do out here. So tell us about this huge composting bin.
Well, there's 3 different sections of the compost bin. The not too decomposed, the kind of decomposed, and the almost fully decomposed. And we throw all of our garden matter in here, and after a while, we turn it and it gets more decomposed, and all the bacteria and bugs in here decompose it.
After things decompose, it's into the sifter.
Once it's all sifted, you take it off.
And presto, you've got compost. And just to show you how serious these guys are about compost, check this out.
This is our worm compost bin.
Lucky for Madison Worthington, she doesn't mind a few creepy crawlers.
And you pull it out, and it has newspaper in it, and then below the newspaper is the compost. There's worms in there who eat the newspaper as well as compostable food like leftover fruit and vegetables. And when they poop it out, that's compost, and we use it around the garden to put around the plants as fertilizer.
They use it to grow fruits and veggies of all makes, shapes, and sizes.
We have some Vietnamese cilantro.
Kevin Rodriguez is in charge of taking all these ingredients and whipping them into something tasty every day.
My point of view when it comes to food is actually using more organic ingredients when it comes to cooking, and try to cut out everything that has nothing to do with growing your own fruits and vegetables.
And he's not alone.
We want to make sure that we're not consuming any pesticides or unorganic material that can harm our bodies.
And they're not just learning about food nutrition here. Today, they're taking it on the road. They're headed here, a restaurant where the chef will teach them about food sustainability. They'll be here in a minute, but first, let's go meet the chef. It's prep time in the kitchen at NOPA, where serving up sustainable food is the only way to go.
We, in our very small way of feeding people, want to make a difference. So we don't want to be part of the problem. And we also find that it's absolutely much more delicious to use this style of food. 30 each.
Lawrence is the chef and co-owner here. He visits 6 farmers markets a week, picking out fresh produce like this.
This is basil from Tomatera Farms. Madison growers, we've got some beautiful cucumbers today. We use local organic lettuces and onions, potatoes. Everything is pure on the plate.
Today, they've got burgers on the grill.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come sit, make yourself at home.
And it looks like the troops have arrived just in time.
My name's Lawrence, and I'm a cook. And I've been cooking for a long time. I started cooking when I was 14 years old.
Lawrence talks to his guests a few minutes about developing good relationships with farmers, treating animals humanely, and staying away from food made with artificial chemicals.
What we want is we want teenagers and young kids to grow food, to see where it comes from, to understand that they can do something about the future of the planet, future of their bodies. All this is interconnected, and that's what they've got to understand is the big picture.
Now that these guys have worked up an appetite, it's time to serve them up. So what's so special about these burgers, you ask?
Well, what we do with our burgers is different than the fast food places, is we use healthy meat. It's one animal at a time. It's not 12,000 animals ground into a giant patty and distributed frozen with tons of E. coli spore, et cetera, in it.
And there are no hormones or antibiotics.
This looks so good. I think I'm gonna give it a try.
From the looks of things here, everyone's with me on this one. So what did these guys learn?
It's how animals been treated differently from this restaurant compared to fast food restaurants. Like, they were treated really well.
I learned how important it is to buy organic food instead of buying fast food.
So whether you've got your own garden or you're eating out on the town, these guys say it's all about making the right choices when it comes to the food on your plate.